The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the QATV staff or board of directors. QATV, in compliance with FCC regulations, is prohibited from exercising control over the content of independent, member-produced public access programming.
So happy to be with you all today, and I'm very excited. We have a great show, and it's all about, very complicated issue. It's all about, what is it, so?
Love. Oh my God.
Very complicated. This is about love. We know that Valentine's is coming, it's around the corner. Of course, here in New England, we have snow, banks and banks of snow. We are buried under the snow, but that didn't keep us from doing a show on love, on Valentine's. So what is love? Keep wondering all the time. What is love?
Wow, it's $1 million question.
Let's try
Let's try.
solving it. So love is the most powerful emotion, they say. So if you have love, you have the most powerful emotion, and you can do anything you want to do. Every individual has a different definition of love. So for you, love is something different, for me different, so let's see. And it cannot be bought, it cannot be sold, it is not marketable, it has no borders. So love is a very, very complicated subject. We all want love. Then when we have love, we don't know whether we have it. So today, my co-host Soph is going to educate me and you on love. Let's see how she does.
Okay. Now, what is love? Well, love is a drug. It's an addiction. And when you have an interaction with your loved ones, what releases, hormones release in your brain, which is the oxytocin and the dopamine. And the dopamine is connected with rewards, and the oxytocin is connected with neurohormones of sex and social connection. So the spurts of oxytocin and dopamine that we get when we're in love forms connections between your face and the smile of your partner and the attention you receive from him or her. And it's as a drug. So it's a drug that you can addicted to. It's a drug that is very addictive. So when people break up, it's a problem. When you go through a withdrawal system, and it is when you'll get dumped. They found that brains that are active, like they found that brain, like when they did an MRI, that they found that in the regions linked with profound addictions is love too.
Oh wow!
It's like cocaine, it's nicotine and stuff. And quite literally, when you break up, it's like a withdrawal from the drug because you don't get it. But can you imagine, like natural, oxytocin hormone is. If you're in love, you don't need any drugs. Yeah, get rid of the drug. Just be in love, So I think that's quite an important. It's quite an important subject. Love is, and there's so much to do. And when you don't have it, you really go through a withdrawal system. And some people, because when you don't have the love of the partner, then
you crave for it.
You do. You really crave for it, and that explains the obsessive feelings that so many people feel when they're in love, and when they don't have that person, they go, "Oh my God, I really need that person. I need that fix. It's a fix." So everybody wants a fix for love. So what do we do with it? Like what happens? Like some people actually have, like so many people experience after being left behind. The brain is, it's designed to be in love all the time, and when you don't get it, you have that symptom. Like, what are we going to do now? What's going to happen now? So the brain is designed to win the person over. So you go back and you try it. You keep on trying, like, you send an email, or you pick up the phone, or so what are you trying to do though? But that's not really healthy for you. So people do have a lot of problems when they don't have that person anymore. So what can you do? What would you suggest? What can you do?
Well, I always think that drug is very, very deep, and if it's not like it's related to an individual, not to it's person to person.
Right.
So sometimes there are different kinds of love. You can have, like I said, a passionate love, or obsessive love, or abusive love. But the healthy love is if you keep the love inside you, and you try to grow the love,
right,
then your hormones, like you said, secretes, and you feel healthy, you feel positive.
Right. I mean, that's the main important thing, because the brain becomes truly deprived of the drug, of the oxytocin and the dopamine. So that's why people really crave that, and they want that back into the system. Like, this is just a scientific way, kind of a way of showing it, but I know we have all different kinds of love, as you were saying. So, and the brain, senses the distress, the body, because it doesn't want that. It's like and then what happens is then the body releases a stress hormone. And then when you release a stress hormone, because you want to compensate because of not getting the oxytocin. Because whenever you meet somebody or you're with that person, all these hormones play so much part of it.
They peak.
Exactly. And when they don't peak, you actually go through a withdrawal system, just like if you were on any kind of drugs. Like, it's amazing to think, so there isn't, like when people break up, and it takes a little while to get back into your system, because sometimes people, they have like aches and pains because they don't have that person. Like, even though it's like kind of mentally, because it's not there or she's not there.
But it is the hormones that's secreting. Depression, that's how when they're secreting less, that's when the aches and pains come out of depression, because you're craving for the person or the substance, like in the case of drugs. That's why you're craving for the love, and when you can't find the love, you're trying to substitute it. So the stress hormones comes out, or you're eating, or you're not eating, or you're doing something else that's upsetting.
Exactly. Like when they say, it's like sometimes people are so sick, they actually have to go on low dosage of antidepressants because they cannot function. You absolutely can't function, because you think, oh my God, what did I do? How can I get him back? Because that's a normal reaction, and that's a normal reaction for the body to do. Like you want to get back to that person, and it's really tough if that person is not receptive to you, because for whatever reason, it happens all the time, and then it's a major, the people do go on antidepressants just so that the hormones bounce back.
It's healthy. First of all, I would say that it's better to have a healthy love,
Right.
It's always the fun part, and then as you grow older, it's the more love with wisdom. That's so enchanting. So when you see love, when you experience love, you forget, you're not into the lust mode that you were in when you were very, very, very young. So now it's more of the intelligence, about the caring of your partner, or does your partner care for you? Does your partner love you? And I think I call love as my plastic surgeon. I'll tell you why. You try this out, my friends. You fall in love and you will see you do not need any plastic surgery, any Botox, because your hormones are going to peak and you're going to glow.
It's that oxytocin. It really is. So that's why they say, and when you are in love, at different times of your life, it's at different stages. Like that's that, in the beginning it's that passionate, like, oh, I have to see this person, I want to meet this person. But over the years, it changes. When a person gets married or when you have kids, it changes. It doesn't mean that you don't love that person. It changes in different forms. It becomes like when you're loving a person, then becomes like a parental love too, like for your kids and for your husband too. It's so much more. It really is.
I have a suggestion, because love is such a big subject that at every stage, like Sophie says, at every age, there is an experience of love. So to the younger generation, don't abuse love. You cannot buy love, or you cannot sell love. Love is purely from the soul to connect at a conscious level. But when you're young, you're full of lust, you're full of jealousy, things can go wrong. Don't let that happen. Let it be pure. As you age, as you experience your surroundings and your life, you'll find the definition of love within you if you look into it. And I always think that you love God. I guess most of us love God, not everybody does.
Right.
Did you ever hear God say, I love you? Doesn't. It's an unconditional love. So I'm always for love that is unconditional. Love that won't be bought, sold, marketable, traded.
Yeah, it encompasses so many issues or emotions, like love does. And people say too, if something doesn't work out and you do go for a breakup, you should be just cordial, but not friends. It's quite important to separate. If it's gone through a breakup, it's very, very important just to be cordial and try not to dwell on that, and try not to like hold momentums from being together, because that just distresses you.
But why would you say that not be friends? Because my suggestion of love is, yes, you may have to break up, but if you do so, it's good to be friends.
It is, but I think that comes over time, because your feelings have to change, because you're so intertwined with each other. So when a breakup does happen, it's best, they say, to keep a little bit of a distance, because distance, it lessens your, like your longing, the passion, the longing for it. So I accept that, I think it does, because if not, there's always that, oh, just maybe he might love me, or just maybe she might care for me. And
I'll take up the challenge. Sophie's advice is, you've got to be patient, but for me, I'll take up the challenge.
It is like you do feel. The dumper, like the person who dumps, she or her feels guilty about it. So it goes, okay, let's just be friends. But I don't know, the friendship ever it becomes like, oh, the other person might take a revenge about it.
That's bad love. But that's why I was suggesting that if you have experience, if you have got wisdom with life, you'll develop this respect that you loved a person one day.
Yeah.
I suggest to my younger generation, to my younger friends, or to all of us, that you have to be friends. Think of it as, it's one little world, one little life. Things may not work out and things may work out. But if things did not work out, keep your feelings separate, intimate feelings separate, and try to be friends. Because if you do, then I think that you can. There was once upon a time when he or she was very close to your heart or dear to your heart. If that be so, you still care, like you care for God.
You do, but the thing is, with this, as love is a drug, it's an addiction. It's like if you're friends with somebody, it's like
you're going for the drug again.
Not only just going for the drug, but you have to stay away from that drug, because it's so easy to fall back with the drug. Because it's the hormones, they start working. So if you don't cut off completely till all your feelings are subsided, or when you can change that to a friendship, then you should stay away, they say, because it's Because it's an addiction. It really is.
Every word that you said so was so true, we know scientifically. But then I also believe that personal experience is also, you know, you have to, everything is right, because all of those scientific experiments are the reason we know why we are so addicted when we fall in love, is that honeymoon time period that, you know, you can't wait to hear the phone ring, you can't wait to hear his or her voice. But then as the honeymoon period is over, then most of them either think that, well, is this going to last? That, you know, that passion is going to last or not. If it does, then you go through different experiences. If it doesn't, then you break up. Breakups can be so bad, revengeful, it could be jealousy, it could be so many things, and you want to stay away from those kinds of love, because that's not really love. That's a competition, and love is not a competition. Love is all about giving, and love is unconditional.
Unconditional, completely. But if that goes away, then you have to be careful.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you don't want it to go away. You never want it to go away. But as you said, the passionate love that you have at the beginning, it's still there in a long-term relationship, but it changes.
Yes.
It changes and becomes more deeper.
Yes, correct.
You know, it's so hard to describe what love is. Like,
Exactly. That's why it's such a complicated.
it is. It sure is. It's like completely.
What is love? I mean, you know, you have it, you don't have it, you crave for it, you pursue it. When you pursue it, you may think you have it, but who knows? And then over the years you say, oh, I think now I want this kind of love. You know, love just changes, your taste just changes. No, but the unconditional love never changes, you know, and the person should be caring.
I mean, I guess, you know, if you have fallen in love, like, you know, people fall in love once or two, you know, when puppy love, they say, when you're younger, and older love. I mean, I don't know if you ever forget that person. I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. Would you ever forget your first friend, or would you forget your first kiss?
No, you don't.
Neither do I. Nobody does.
Nobody
you know?
does. So that's special. What I'm saying is you know, that means, you know, that you can love different times at different places. I mean, of course, love is just one, but I guess it's compartmentized.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you can love one person and, you know, love another person in a different way and love another person in a different way. That doesn't take away the love from any one of those people.
You're so right. You know, there was a time when I used to think, how can a mother love 4 children?
Right, equally.
But similarly, how is it that you can't love 4 people, you know? But people abuse that love, but it can be, like you said, you compartmentalize it and you will love individually all of them. It's like one big family. So my suggestion was never break up. And if you do break up, let it not be revengeful, abusive, or, you know, something that you're going to regret.
They say that, like, the greatest healer of love, if you break up, is time. So time, it is time. Like, you know, it takes a toll on you, but that's all you can do, because love also is gradual too.
So Sophie is suggesting us, when you break up, most of her, how love is formed. For me, I think that to fall in love is the biggest healer, and I think it's the most important, you know, drug.
It is. It's a drug
of life.
It is, and it's such an important drug, because if you don't have that, you really don't have anything, you know.
Exactly. And, you know, if you have that emotion, you can do everything. Nothing is impossible. Trust me, you don't need a drug, you don't need a cigarette.
Not at all.
You don't need any kind of dependence, because you can achieve everything in life if you fall in love with that person, with the subject, with the career, anything be that be, but you've got to fall in love unconditionally.
Unconditionally.
That's
the key to it, I think. If you fall in unconditionally, then you know what? Don't take it for granted. Love cannot be taken for granted. It changes, yes, but that doesn't mean that you don't work at it all the time. It is. You have to work at it all the time. Just because, you know, fell in love and now you have kids, or you don't, or whatever the case is over the years, but you have to make time for that person. And I think that's quite important.
we need time for our own selves. Every woman around the globe needs space and time for her own self so she can rethink her daily life, and she also needs to make time for her partner, to give him or her the special time, whether they have in-laws, children, family, doesn't matter. There has to be a time for both of us in all cultures across the globe. But all cultures across the globe always want this formula called love. And we are in the quest of finding love. And Sophie did suggest all the scientific reasons of love and breakup. I will not go to breakup. I only would suggest if you break up, please do not make it abusive or revengeful, but always try to fall in love, have a quest, and enjoy life.
And move on, because you know what? You never know. Like, okay, it didn't work out the first time, but you have to try again. We're just humans. We need that. We need, as human beings, we are always craving for that. And if you crave for that, because your brain starts producing oxytocin, natural drug, that's the best kind.
You see? So on the eve of Valentine's Day, we wish you happy Valentine from Soph and me. And also, love is such an important subject, such an important reason for living on this earth. Love can be of any kind, of different levels. Love to your parents, to children, to partner, love to your pets, love for nature, love for career.
Love for human beings.
Love for human being. But my message to you all is love is unconditional. Try it. Try loving someone unconditionally, and you will be amazed what it can do to your own life as well as others' life. And never be depressed when you know that your body is aching, or you have a breakup, or you're depressed. Get help, but never abuse love. Love is wonderful. Isn't it so?
Oh, love is precious. You cannot do without it. You really cannot. It doesn't matter who it is, what it is, be it another human being, be it a pet, be it anyone, the people you meet. The more you share, the more you get. And I think it's just intoxicating. It really is.
We are so much into love. As you see, we are so much into love. So we want to share the message of love. Happy Valentine's Day. It's Isha.
And this is So. Happy Valentine's.
Bye-bye.